Because when you use the word vivid, like I said, usually it's used for pictures or
Yes.
images. So, for example, you're thinking of
Okay.
your boyfriend and you have a very vivid picture of him in your mind. So that's how you can actually
Oh,
use
okay.
vivid. Now,
Yeah.
if you're
I
looking
see.
for something like somebody who does a lot of stuff, you can say, what was
Yeah.
the word that I gave you earlier? Active. Okay, first taking a whole night's rest. He
Yeah.
is
Active.
energetic. And then let's try to remove that.
Energetic.
Usually, I'm putting in some
Active.
notes there for pictures or
Okay.
images. There. Okay. Now we can. Mhm. Energetic, active. So we'll use active instead. And is able to absorb the.
Yeah.
What do you mean acknowledge easier and quicker? Might you have missed some word there?
Hmm? Oh. His able. I mean, his ability to learn the knowledge will be easier and quicker
Okay, so don't you think
than
acknowledge is different
maybe
from knowledge?
in the night.
Yes.
Ah, acknowledge is the word, right?
I think that's just it's not really a problem
Ah,
with the grammar, but more
okay.
on the spelling. Because you don't have we can remove A
Spelling.
and C there and you'll just have
And,
knowledge there.
mm,
Yes, acknowledge would be
yes.
to
Acknowledge is
understand or to
acknowledge is not.
mm, recognize something. Knowledge is the noun.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, so and is able to
Okay.
absorb
Ah,
knowledge,
mhm.
the knowledge easier and quicker, just like a sponge. Very good. Yes, that's right. Still very these are very simple or minor errors. Not bad. And yeah, you already told me that sometimes your spelling is not well. So far for this one, you've only
Camera.
given me one spelling error for acknowledge or knowledge. Yes, just one so far. And I think the rest, I haven't seen anything anymore. Yes. On the first, well, I've read
Really?
through it maybe 5 times already, and
Good
yes,
news
I
for
haven't seen
me.
anything yet, which is good. Did you use a dictionary or did it take you a long time? Because I know when you write,
Yeah.
takes you a long time because you need to check the spelling or the meaning of the word, right?
Ah, yes, I ever checked dictionary. I ever checked dictionary for some words. For example, conscious. I know conscious is
Ah, okay.
adjective, but I'm looking for
For the
its noun.
noun or for the different form
So
of
I
the
checked
word.
the dictionary, and for example, the routine. I forgot how to
Ah.
spell. I just
To
spelled by myself 2 times, but I was wrong. So I checked the dictionary, And another word is the pig. I I know the pronunciation is pig, but I spell P-E-E-K, you know. So I guess it's so when I check the P-E-E-K,
Actually, yes.
I
There are three
find,
different
oh,
words
it's
that sound the same
more I'm
or
looking for.
similar, not exactly the same. Peak, pick, and peak.
Yes.
Yes. Peak is to look.
Pig. Pig.
Pick is to choose.
Yes.
And then peak, this is the noun, a noun,
Yes.
which is the top. Okay.
Yes.
And yes, it's normal. That's
Yes.
understandable to be confused with what you need to use. But just take note of how the meaning and how they are spelled. It's very common. It's a very common error. And just to give you another tip
Yeah.
for spelling, usually
Yes.
words um, words that have ou, it usually the words like consciousness or about, it's always ou. Maybe sometimes you're thinking, is it uo or ou? It's always ou. Yes. Now there are certain
Oh,
words like
okay.
continue.
So it's normal. Oh, okay.
Regularly, this is ou is more common.
Yes.
There are certain words like
Oh,
I said, continue. It's
yes.
uous, like the word continue, because the word continue already has a u there at the end, right? So it's spelled continuous. So that's what I do to remember the spelling easier. I try to say it. I don't try
Yes.
to pronounce
Okay.
it as continuous. I pronounce it as of course, in my mind only, to remember the spelling nuous. That's how I started to remember the spelling when I was young.
Oh,
Yes, that's right. Something that's
oh,
easy for me
okay.
to
You try
remember.
to find your way to
And then I can't think of another word which has uous, but I can think of a lot of words that has ou in it. Mm, now I can meticulous.
okay. Oh,
Yes, curious. How
yeah,
about
no, oh,
do you know the word
curious, right?
ambiguous?
Q-O-U-S. Curious.
Okay, now how about that? Yes. How do you spell that?
Ah, yeah, ambiguous. Unclear. Eh? Okay. Um,
Sometimes you that's correct. Sometimes you have to write it down to figure out the
no, it's
spelling.
not.
Now ambiguous would fall under the same as continuous. Yes, so it's ambiguous. Correct. So just a few tips
Yes,
to make
yes,
it
yes.
easier for you, because using ou and uous, words that have ou and uous are quite confusing. I felt
Yes.
that when I was studying. Yes. Okay. Just a tip.
Yes.
Yes. Go ahead.
Yes. So I tricks. They told students how to remember the vocabulary easier. They also try to use some little way. I would say they try to find there. But how to say that? For example, inter.
To make
Yeah,
things, it's a tip or a suggestion to make it easier for
yes,
you, right?
yeah, I know they will try to understand to analyze the why they
Okay,
have
but
capital. They
honestly, it really
connect
depends
together.
on
They will
you, what
refer
you
to
find
some
easier to remember.
special meaning.
Well, let's say the book gave you a suggestion, but it doesn't work for you. Maybe
Yeah.
you can consider or try looking for another way.
Yeah, if you
Yes,
can
that's a
find
lot better.
the way that's suitable for yourself,
All right,
easy
now
to remember. I think it's
moving on
okay.
to the next sentence. Please read a second.
Mm, yes. Yes. Okay. Second, according to the research, humans' ability of consciousness and
Now
organization
let's
is
stop
peak
there
in the morning
first.
compared with
Second,
the other
according
part of
to
daytime.
research, humans'
Continue
ability
or stop?
of consciousness.
Okay.
Consciousness. Yes, exactly. Very good. At least you were
I would
able to
just
do it
say
yourself, or
humans' consciousness.
to identify that ability of is not necessary anymore. Okay, humans' consciousness, you're looking for the noun, right? Because when you say ability of, it's becoming what?
Yes.
It's making sometimes when you use ability,
Yes.
it becomes a verb, something that somebody can do.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. How how about if I wrote
No.
humans hum,
Humans'
humans
conscious
conscious ability
ability.
is peak
No, not.
in the morning?
It's
Is
not
that
really a.
also okay?
It means the same,
Or
yes,
not? Okay.
but the organization or the thought is not correct. No need to use ability for
Yeah.
this one. Humans' consciousness and organization is
Okay.
now this one. There's some or a few words that you
I
need to
see.
include. Is blank peak.
Yeah.
When you're talking about, for example,
Let
the top,
peak.
meaning
So these two
at
words
its
always
best.
connect together.
Actually, I said the word already. At its peak. At its best. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, good question when you asked, is it always
Oh,
together?
that's peak.
Not
Oh.
necessarily. For example,
Oh, I see. I see. That's peak.
we can see the peak of the mountain
Mm.
from our house. And then the human body is at its peak
Yes.
between between
Yeah.
the ages 25 to 35, let's say. Of course, this is not a fact. It's just a
So if you like to describe something, it's on the top, not the mountain. I mean, maybe
Yes,
more
that's right. Okay, that's why
constructor. I mean,
look at the
the I can say
definition, the top, at the
it's
top.
peak.
If you're talking about the peak itself, like the mountain, you just say the peak. But if you're describing the the ability or the height of something or the greatness of something is at its peak.
Ability, right? Ability.
All right? So that's the only thing for that sentence is at its peak. Again, the notes I'm adding to it so that you can remember them when you review. Peak in the morning compared with the other time of daytime. Now, other time of daytime doesn't sound very
Okay, thank you.
clear. Or no, it's actually very clear, but it's not sufficient.